So I found out something fun today. Context. So in my family, we have some big football fans, and the football team of choice is Chelsea football team. This is very important. Now, we are very attached to our Chelsea football team. When they win, ah la la ho, and when they lose, great disappointment. Interestingly, this is not only the case for, say, people living in the UK. Many years ago, at first I was in Addis Ababa and I'm not a football person. Full disclosure, I don't even know how many players there are in a team. I meant to look that up before starting to record this video. I have no idea. Anyway, I digress. So, Addis Ababa, and there were all these little buses with photographs that I did recognize. I could recognize David Beckham and Wayne Rooney and what's his name? Ronaldo. Was it Ronaldo? Anyway, there was definitely Wayne Rooney and David Beckham. I recognized them. Okay. And I think those two played for Manchester United. I know something. And then when I went to northern Ethiopia, and I had to go to the bank for some reason, and the person in the bank, asked me, what football team do you support? Because this is considered very important information. Even I'm told by a doctor who worked in the hospital in the town with the bank, she said, sometimes the English Premiership football is very popular, and people even get into fights over this with knives. Um, so we might then ask ourselves if we are going to if we are willing to have duels, have sword fights over our football team, we'd better be very clear what the parameters are of the football team. We need to be very able to identify the football team if we're willing to draw swords and fight over it. No. So then we might ask ourselves, okay, it's probably reasonable to assume we're grasping at an inherently existent team. So my team that's graspable and findable and worth fighting for. Yes. So where is the team? So where is the inherently existent team that is worth fighting for? And we might say it's the players. It's the players. So, okay, so let's take a look. All right, I needed help. I needed Wikipedia, so let's have a look at what Wikipedia says. So as of 4th of February 2025, these are the players. This is the list. First team squad. There's 47 here. I don't know how many people are in a football team. Doesn't matter. Well, no, it does matter, actually. So here's a list of players. Number 1 to 20 to 47. So a question for someone like me will be, well, how many players constitutes a football team? Is it all the players on the pitch? If so, then what happens when somebody gets a red card and gets sent off? If it's not all the players, then how many players is enough? How many players makes a team? Is it 2? Is it 3? How many? And then if we're going to generate so much attachment for this team, and if it is the players that are the basis, then let's scroll down. This is very interesting, fun news for me. So here it's got out on loan. And there's a list of football players of the Chelsea football team who are out on loan. Oh, at AC Milan, Oxford United. Sorry, that's quite exciting. AC Milan. Because someone else is in Doncaster, which is less glamorous. Sorry, Doncaster. I've been there many times, so I know it's not as glamorous as Milan. Sorry. Crystal Palace, also not so glamorous, though coming up in the world. Yeah, so if we are willing to draw swords and knives over our precious football team. Where is that football team when half of its members are out on loan? What are we attached to? And what are we fighting for? So the point here is that independence on a valid basis, whatever that is, a certain number of people who are legitimately, conventionally called members of the football team, or we say there's a team, and then we get very attached to it. And then we superimpose, and we're willing to even fight over it. I'm using the example of a football team, but I could use other things. If we think about flags, if we think about symbols, from their side, they're just shape and color. We have a convention. So, what is it? Green, white, and red, 3 stripes in a line. By convention, that's the basis of designation of the Italian flag. It performs a function, and we will understand what it means. But that convention does not inhere in the basis itself. Our naming, evaluating conceptual mind designates the meaning. So the question then for us to think of is, what is conventionally agreed upon conventional truth? And what are we adding? And what are we superimposing? We think so much of our evaluation inheres in the object. Is it true? Is it true, or is some of it coming from my side? Because when we act as if the name inhered in the basis, how do we respond? When enemy-ness inheres in the basis, how do we behave? What kind of karma do we create? How do we treat people in the world? And when we recognize that so much of what appears to us is our projection, can we make better, wiser, and ultimately more peaceful choices?